Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let's take a look at the new Automask feature in Final Cut Pro. So Final Cut Pro version 12.3 added a new feature called Automask. We had different ways to mask video before. This is a new one that's using AI to do it very quickly and easily and get pretty good results. So as an example here, I'm going to take this one clip and move it into my project. And the obvious mask here would be just to get the person in the video and get rid of the background. To do this, you can go to Modify and look for Add Automask. When you select that, it will prompt you to move the pointer to reveal masks and then click a mask to add it. And you could see how I can move over different portions of the image to grab a portion and use that as the mask. Not just for this frame, but for the entire clip. Now, instead of clicking on one of these, you can also click the plus button here and it's going to show you what it found. So you can see here it found people, skin and face, hair, mouth, etc. It finds a lot of different things in here because it's looking specifically for people, it's looking for dogs and cats, it's looking for foreground and background, landscape, sky, lots of different things. So this is what it found here. I'm going to select people and add this as the auto mask. And when I do, now you could see it masks that part of the image. So the rest of the clip is gone. It's just showing through to the background color. And I have just the masked part here. And it doesn't matter which frame I'm in, it's for the entire clip. I can go here and you can see if I can turn off auto mask and turn it back on again and how well it works. I can also adjust it a bit, shrinking it or expanding it according to what it finds. I could use a road in either direction, and I can also blur the mask a little bit like that. So you have lots of different ways to adjust it. Notice I can also change the type, and you can see I could select all of those different types just like we saw before. Of course, the results of this are going to vary depending upon what's in the video, how well the video is shot, like is it very clear, a separation between the foreground and the background, how good is the lighting, that kind of thing. This is a very well shot video clip here, so it works really well. So now that I've got just a mask for the person, I could do something like add another clip on another layer. I'm just going to add this digital animation clip behind the person, and you can see how well this works to create something really nice with very little effort. Now I want to get back to this example in a minute, but I want to show you another way to use Automask that will actually work in most situations. So for this, I'm going to add this clip here. And it's just a very simple shot here, but you can see there's no person, there's no dog or cat. You can't even see the sky here. So let's go and do Automask, but instead of modify, add Automask, we're instead going to add an effect first. The idea is that we want to get the background to be desaturated so the colors of the flower and of the bee really pop out. So I'm going to go to the effects browser here and I'm going to go to color and then I'm going to look for hue saturation and I'm going to drag and drop that onto this clip here. And this will allow me to change the saturation if I want. So you can see I can make it basically black and white or somewhere in between. I'm not going to worry about the exact setting right now. I want to apply the auto mask to this. Now the way to apply masks is to use one of these buttons here. So you can apply a shape mask, a color mask, or here's a machine learning mask, either the magnetic mask, which existed previously, but also auto mask. So I'm going to click on auto mask and it'll give me the same choices here. It finds here foliage, foreground, and background. And foreground and background are really the catch-all for shots that don't have other things in them. I'm going to choose the background as my mask and add that. Now, remember, I added that to the effect. So this is basically an effect mask. It's masking the effect, not anything else. So it's not eliminating what's in the background. But now if I change the saturation value here, you can see it's only affecting the masked area. In other words, the background here. And throughout this entire clip now, I desaturated the background and kept the full color on the foreground. Let's make the effect a little less obvious like that, and you could see the result. Now you could add multiple effects like this. So for instance, let's go to Comic Basic. I'm going to drag and drop Comic Basic here. And it's going to do it for the entire clip. But let's do an auto mask here. But this time, I'm going to select the foreground for it and add it. So now it's applied the comic effect to just the foreground here. And you can continue to add more if you want. I'm going to go and add some more color here using hue saturation again. But this time, for this one, I'm going to have it auto mask to the foreground. So the comic effect is already applied to this, but I'm going to go in here and super saturate it to make the colors even more vibrant. So now I've got a super saturated comic effect foreground and a desaturated background, all using Automask and some basic effects. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 3,000 others that support MACMOST through Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. Let's go back to this example here where we've masked the person and then we have a different background. Let's get rid of that background and instead add back the original clip underneath. So basically we've got the same clip in two layers, but the first one is masked and the second one is not. The result is it looks just like the original. But now we actually have these on separate layers, so we can add something in between them. For instance, we can go to titles here and we could add a title. Let's go and choose a 3D title and do basic 3D here. And I'm going to add it right here. And you could see it is above both layers. But I can move it in between the layers. And you can see how it comes out behind the person there. So I could adjust here, transform, and move this off to the side, for instance, but it still has the effect of being behind her. So you can imagine you could have a nice animated title that kind of flies around the subjects in your video, just like you see in lots of movies and TV shows. But let's try something else. Let's add this background back here, but underneath the regular background. And then what we're going to do is have this background fade away, revealing the one behind it. So let's go to about 2 seconds in here. And I'm going to add a keyframe for opacity. That'll be for 100%. And then I'm going to go to about 4 seconds in and add another keyframe, but at 0. So it's going to go from 100% to 0 between 2 and 4 seconds, fading out the regular background. And we don't even need to have all this in there anymore past the 4 seconds. So it kind of like fades out, as she's kind of like getting into whatever she's doing online. Now let's add a tint effect to the person there. But I'm going to set the color to be something kind of a brighter blue to kind of fit in with that background that's coming in. And I'm going to set the amount to 0. So it's not really affecting anything. But here at about 2 seconds, when the background starts to fade out and she goes into cyberspace, I am going to set a keyframe for the amount and then another keyframe for the amount at 4 seconds. But this keyframe will have the amount be at 100% or maybe not even quite 100%, something a little less than that. So now she'll fade from a 0 tint to a much higher tint here as she goes into the new background. So by using a few auto masks like that, you can have a pretty neat effect. So if you have Final Cut Pro, give this a try with some of your own clips and see what you can create. Thanks for watching. Want to know about every new MACMOST video each week? Sign up for the absolutely free MACMOST email newsletter at macmost.com/newsletter.